worst golf advice. Happy Monday, everybody. Today we're going to be watching some YouTube shorts on the worst golf advice. We're going to be taking a look at what the coaches say and see if we can learn what truly is the worst golf advice, because I've heard so much bad golf advice out, and it's usually those Dunning-Kruger golfers that read a couple articles, next thing you know they think they're Hank Haney out there teaching golf, but really they're destroying swings. I don't know if they do it on purpose, but let's take a look today, and hopefully you haven't given this advice. So let's get going. So before we get to the nitty-gritty, do you have a worst golf swing advice that you've even given unintentionally or received when you first started learning this golf? Let me know in the comments down below. And also, don't forget, this Thursday, we're having an emergency stream because I will not be here this Sunday, but we will be going Thursday. We already have some people lined up, but if you want to be featured in that, go ahead and send me your down the line face-on videos, and I'll help you out for free. And lastly, thank you for supporting this channel. Memberships, they start at 99 cents, and it just goes to help support this free education for all those golfers out there. So if you do want to join, link is in the description. But enough of that, Tony. Worst mistake beginners make.
The worst mistake beginning golfers make is trying to scoop the ball in the air. The faster you swing, the higher it goes, not farther. Hit down on the ball with your hands ahead. To do this, understand that the hand and club path are the same. At impact, shoulders are 30 and hips are 45 degrees open or left of the target. The club and the hand stay on the path. If the hand path is swinging right of the target, you could possibly bring in the hosel and shank it. The hands would be swinging out. Down, 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 not scoop, break.
I don't know if that constitutes bad advice. It might be a bad habit, but he is correct that most amateurs scoop the ball. But most of the time, it's because the club looks like it needs to be scooped. You have an angle, you don't know what to do with that angle. They haven't been explained what the bounce is, what the leading edge, how the club needs to drive into the ground to get up in the air. Remember, hit down to get up. Don't hit up, you'll get it down. But most of this usually stems from ball position, lack of rotation. So there's more to this than just getting those hands in front. And this is where I fear that most people try and cheat the system by forward pressing. And if you follow us here, you know forward pressing is the death of a lot of golf swings. Let's see who's next. Worst golf tip of all time.
You picked your head up.
I did?
That's why you suck.
Sure.
You picked your head up.
No, I didn't.
That's why you suck. You picked your head up.
Yep, I can agree.
You picked your head.
Catchy tune too, I can definitely agree with that one. I hear this a lot of the time on the driving range when I'm teaching is, hey, you lifted your head on that one. That's like the go-to one. But I tell David Duvall that he lifted his head on that one and he reached #1 in the world by lifting his head. It's not necessarily your head lifting, it's your spine angle coming up, coming out of your posture. And again, why do we do that? You have to look at your ball position, lack of rotation, hand manipulation, weight distribution. And when you do lose any of those, you lose the clearance room at impact to turn and tilt. So a lot of this is fundamental based. Grip alignment, setup posture, make sure you're setting up correctly for your body type and your body style, because that is very important. There's no universal way to swing a golf club, just remember that. This looks interesting. What actually happens when you hit a golf ball? Why lie boards lie? So live boards are a little bit old school, and I remember using them a lot when I first started working in the golf industry, and things have definitely changed. So yeah, you can still fit somebody with live board. Is it as accurate as the current technology out there? Obviously not. But the live boards that, when I use live boards, we use the live boards to see the toe and the heel contact, not necessarily the ball contact. So then you would fit the lie angle, and then we'd hit it on real ground or real turf, and then you start to see the ball contact. So I would go to these modern day fitting companies, but stay away from places like PGA Tour or like Roger Dunn. Yeah, they might have some good guys every now and then, but as a company, they're looking to sell products. So they have a morning meeting and they say, hey, today we need to push a bunch of these Callaways. We're overstocked. Push them out there. So you get all these sales reps out there pushing to get their commission. You want to go to a facility like Club Champion, where they don't promote individual companies. They actually work with you and they give you what you actually need. So go check out Club Champion. This is why you can't hit your long
Here's
irons.
how to hit your long irons for beginners. The first thing I see people do wrong is their ball position. We can't have the ball in the back of our stance. We need to move it up since we have a longer club in our hand.
Finally!
Next, we don't want to flick our hands at the ball. We want to turn around our body and use our body to hit the ball. This will allow for a more consistent strike. Next, don't try to lift the ball up in the air. You want to hit down for the ball to come up. Give this a try and start bombing your long iron.
All right, that's Golf Grind. Go follow that guy. Already, he's got a fan in me. He instantly talked about ball position. That is so overlooked in the instruction world, specifically on YouTube. Nobody really talks about ball position. I would have liked to seen him say, hey, the ball position is related to your spine, and make sure the spine is correct as well for that ball position. But hey, he talks about the good stuff. Ball position, rotation, tilting, striking down. Good job. I like this one. And go give that guy a follow. I tried the worst bunker shot advice on TikTok. What is this bunker advice? What is that, a choppy? I'm not sure what we're supposed to understand here. It does look like he quits his follow through. I don't know. It could be a different club. But my biggest thing for bunkers, teaching people bunkers, is it's the only golf shot that you ever hit where you don't hit the ball. You're lifting the ball with the sand, so you need a lot of energy to get that sand to lift it out, depending on how far you need to carry the ball. So I always teach my students, make sure the ball position is correct for the style of shot you're looking for. You don't need a lot of loft. You can actually get a 8-iron out of most of these bunkers with the loft. You are looking to strike down on the sand, get the sand to lift it out. So to ensure that, just make sure, if you're a righty golfer, make sure that right shoulder goes all the way through and faces your target. You can't go wrong. It's a pretty simple shot. That's why most of the tour players love being in bunkers, because they are so good at the bunkers. Obviously, tour player bunkers are raked. They don't have to deal with our big elephant footprints all over the place where your ball's stuck and somebody's trampled on it and cigarette butts everywhere. But it's still a relatively easy shot, so I'm not quite sure about this one. A stronger grip will. Let's look. Make closing the club face much easier. You know, this one is a little bit misleading because you don't want to go tinkering with your grip. Just remember this. Grip and golf swing work hand in hand. One affects the other. If you go ahead and change your grip, your golf swing will not change right away. Now you have to look at your path and the club face relationship. Grip is one of the last things I change. I look at fundamentals first, and then we look at the golf swing, and then we look at, okay, if we change the grip, how would the body react to that change? Because typically, if you do have a strong grip, you have a lot of body tilt and rotation to make that strong grip work, because you can't release it. I've seen people with strong grips have a worse slice because they learn not to release it. So it really just depends. I wouldn't go and mess with your grip willy-nilly. But the best thing with this is just go to a golf coach. Here we go. The absolute worst golf advice.
Some of the worst advice I've ever heard is keep your head down. So, well, I would say, like, again, anything can work, but that particular phrase has made the golf instruction industry millions, because people that keep their head down, essentially what they're doing is they're restricting. So when I keep my head down, I'm not able to rotate well through the golf ball. And then also what I'll often see is, like, if someone keeps their head down, they're not getting any extension in the follow through. And so what they need to do to avoid driving the club into the ground is they need to start bending their arms. And then someone will say, oh, you kept your head down, but you chicken winged. And it's like, well, yeah, of course I did. And so my advice would be, look, you can look at the golf ball while you brush the grass, but then let's watch it fly or roll.
So 100% accurate. There are so many swings that I have to deal with on a daily basis where the wife was told by the husband, hey honey, keep your head down, keep your head down. And they're so stuck on that they get down, just like he said. They get down and they're so focused, I got to keep my head down. All of a sudden, their hands flip, they have no rotation, they hit it horrible. I tell, look, man, I know your husband probably meant well, but let your head go. It's okay. Lift your head. Lift it up. Who cares? As long as you can kind of keep your chest down as you strike the ball, then you come on up. You don't want to injure your back. I know that I do this, and I'm sure a lot of good golf coaches do this as well, is the explanation of the golf swing and what causes lift in the golf ball and how your body needs to be. So one of the things I try to do is get them to throw a ball from a golf position. And I say, I want you to throw this high and far, but you've got to start in a golf position. And most of the times, within 3 or 4 throws, you can see their swing develop. They're turning, they're staying down at the right moment to get the lift, and then they follow through and come on up. And I say, that's what we're looking for. Let's just put a club in your hand, duplicate that. And if your husband tells you to keep your head down, give him my contact info, have him call me, and I'll sort him out. So All you husbands out there, stop telling your wife to keep your head down. Stop telling your kids to keep your head down. This guy is 100% correct. You are unintentionally destroying many golf swings. Here's another one. The worst advice in golf.
Worst piece of advice in golf. So I hear it so often that people get told, keep your head down.
Again.
If you keep your head down, your arms will bend like this, so you'll create that chicken wing. You'll probably lose distance, because if you keep your head down, you're going to be very restricted and not able to...
We don't have to keep watching that. It's the same thing. Stop telling your kids and your wife to keep their head down. It is ruining their golf swing, but it's keeping us in business. So, it's a double-edged sword. All right, Mark Crossfield, the worst golf tip ever.
Can we stop saying head down? Can we stop practicing head down? Maybe the worst golf advice ever. Head down encourages restricted movements. Head down restricts your neck. If you restrict the movements in your neck, you won't be able to move the rest of your body. Guess what? Often when...
All right, so again, we don't have to listen to this. It's the same explanation. So can you stop telling your friends and relatives to keep their head down, please? All right, let's see this one. Worst golf advice ever.
You're going to be told constantly, which is wrong.
Hey, look at this. The worst advice ever given in golf.
When we watch good players, what we notice about them is they have lots and lots and lots of twists. So the implication there is they must have gotten rid of the bend that they had earlier. So the amount of bending over that's correct to have at address, correct during the backswing, downswing, and correct at impact is horribly, terribly wrong if you stay down and watch the ball. Yet, what is the most prevalent piece of golfing advice given from one player to another? Keep your head down, keep your eye on the ball. Just completely wrong.
I'm not searching for keep your head down. I'm searching for worst golf advice ever. And can you see the theme of this? I wasn't expecting this, but this is pretty obvious. But just remember the root cause of tops. Most husbands tell their wives, most dads tell their sons, or moms tell their daughters, whoever, keep your head down, your head raised up, because what they see is the ball being topped. So they figure, well, the head must have come up, which is why they hit the top of the ball. But there's so many causes for top shots. I've seen people be in pretty good positions and still top the ball because their ball position is not correct. It could be too far back, it could be too far forward. So ball position really plays a part. For all you Dunning-Kruger golf instructors out there that's read a couple of articles, watched a couple of videos, and think you're the next best thing, trust me, you need to go to somebody that's done this for a living, a long time, that's made a living professionally. They can help your family members out, and it's worth the investment because you are going to destroy your loved one's swing and their enjoyment of the game. I'm gonna get off my soapbox in a little bit, but there's so many parents out there that I watch after I've worked with them take their child to the stall 2 or 3 over from me and berate them and undo all the work that we've done together as a student and instructor. I have terminated relationships with them because I tell them, look, I cannot teach your child if you undo everything and give them this nonsense that you saw on YouTube that you're now thinking is going to work for your child. And it's frustrating for me because I care about my students and I want them to play this game for a long time. So please stop doing that. Let's try this. Top 5 worst golf advice. You know what? Let's look at John Daly's advice for beginner golfers. He's always interesting.
For all you beginners out there, chip and putt.
Well, isn't that what they said about Tiger? Didn't Tiger's dad teach him backwards? They taught him while he was putting? Started putting and then whatever?
Started putting when he was very young. Then he went to chipping. Then he went to 100 yards or 20, 50 yards or whatever. The drivers... Everybody in golf that plays on a professional level can hit a driver. They can hit a 5-iron. They can hit a 6-iron. But it's 125, 150 yards in. That means a lot.
Oh my God, this is so good. By the way,
nobody ever talks about it. No guy that wins a golf tournament ever talks about, well, I hit that wedge from from out of the rough from 122 yards and knocked it like this. Got a gimme. They talk about either the drive they hit to get him there, or whatever, but golf is all about 150 yards.
I could not agree more with this statement. I encourage you watching at home, if you don't already, take the driver out of play for a while. Take the 3-wood out of play. Just play with irons, wedges, and putter. And believe me, you'll hit the ball a lot better. You'll start to score a little bit better without those longer clubs because all they do is tempt you. And the odds of you hitting more fairways decrease. In our junior tour, and we're teaching these kids to be players, we have an event. It's called the One Club event. You can pick one club and play 9 holes with it. When we first started, people looked at me like I'm crazy, but now it's one of the favorites because what it does is it teaches the child to think about the holes, where the bunkers are, where the water is. What club can I use to best navigate that? And if I'm in a bunker, what club can I use to manipulate that club face to get it out of the bunker? Do I need to take a putter? I probably don't need a putter because I can't use a putter from all the way around. So most of our students resort to a 6-iron, 7-iron, and they learn to manipulate that club. They learn to close the club face down. They learn to draw it. They learn to fade it, to add yardage, to work the golf ball. We need more creativity out there. We need to stop with this technology stuff. Some of these kids out there are 20 yards from the pin and they're using the rangefinder because they've lost touch. We need touch. Technology removes touch. It's a nice balance to use it, but stay away from it. Get more in tune with the touch of the golf game because it is an art form. It is a craft. And by taking technology in it, you remove. I'll do some swing analysis in the next couple of days. I've got that emergency stream on Thursdays because I'm not going to be in town on Sunday for the live stream. I've got to cover some of my instructor shifts. But other than that, if you do like this, hit that like, share, subscribe. I hope that helps you, and I'll see you next time.
Fairways and greens.